Joining us live now to weigh in on this and so much more and other topics is Biden administration, Italian political activist Giovanni Corrado, and Democratic strategist and radio host Robert Patillo. Thank you both for joining us. Good to see you.
Thanks, Miranda.
Thank you for having us.
So let's start with you, Giovanni. What do you think, personally, of the president's handling of the coronavirus pandemic?
Well, I think it's very easy to handle a pandemic that had been handled by his predecessor. I mean, it's very easy to handle a pandemic when you had your predecessor work with pharmaceutical companies to develop the vaccines. It's very easy to handle a pandemic when you had your predecessor put in place the necessary economic measures to handle the pandemic and follow it through. This was part of a plan that was started way before Biden's time. Trump had it under control, and he knew that the Democrats were going to go ahead and take credit for all the work that him and his administration put in place during the very tough days of the pandemic more than a year ago. And that's exactly what they're doing today. So personally, I don't think Biden should be claiming any credit for it. And I think Americans should realize that these type of solutions and this type of comeback, it doesn't start today. It started when Trump was in office.
So you can say it started with Trump. What about the distribution of the vaccine? That's something that the Biden administration claims that it's done a much better job of handling.
Well, actually, the ramp up of the production of the vaccine, even before the distribution, that's something that was put in place by the Trump administration when they negotiated contracts with the pharmaceutical companies. So the plan that is now playing out with the distribution is something that was actually agreed upon in the production phase, and that happened way before Biden's time. So again, we have a situation where the States is taking credit for what's happening with the distribution, but that is actually not what the administration negotiated, the current administration, but it was something that the prior administration actually did.
So, Robert, want to get your take on this. Does the Biden administration deserve any credit for this? Do you think that the Trump administration isn't getting credit enough? We've talked about it before, how they talked about changing the name of everything, not calling it Operation Warp Speed, as soon as Biden started taking office. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, no, this is very much what happened at the beginning of the Trump administration, where Trump took credit for the economic gains which were taking place early on in his administration. And Democrats said, well, this is Barack Obama's economy, and that's who actually built this. Look, presidents get credit for what happens during their administrations. We've seen that Joe Biden purchased an additional 200 million doses of vaccine when he came into office. We saw a complete revamping of Operation Warp Speed. We heard from the state level that the distribution has gone so well that indeed we have surplus vaccine. And one of the things that President Trump could do right now to help with distribution of the vaccine, even while out of office, is encouraging the 30% of Republicans who refuse to take the vaccine to actually take it. We had Senator Ron Johnson coming out this weekend saying that he's an anti-vaxxer and so I don't understand how Republicans want both for Trump to take credit for the vaccine, but also won't encourage their base to take the vaccine so that we can all get back to normal. It's a very circular argument at this point. I think what has to happen is sober heads need to prevail. Let's get everybody vaccinated so we can get back to regular society and stop celebrating before the game is even over.